Okay, guys, we're in the home stretch. This is the last section of the chapter. We're going to look at peers and play. If you're wondering, gee, gosh, Dr. Josh, you really love this. No, I hate doing this. This is such a pain in the neck. You'd think this would be really simple. Like, after all, I'm doing it live. No, it's not. There's all kinds of things that go wrong with this, and it is a pain in the neck. Anyway, we're nearly done. So let's dive into it. Okay, our book notes that as kids grow older, they spend more time with their peers. Peers are not as important at this stage of life as they are in, say, middle childhood or adolescence, but they are still growing in importance. So peer groups function in the following ways. One, they give children good information about themselves and a way to compare themselves with other kids outside the family. Also, good peer relations really do promote normal socio-emotional development. As for developmental changes, young kids start spending more time with their playmates of the same gender, and they begin to distinguish between friends and non-friends. Although, to be fair, basically what it means is a friend is someone you can play with. But as kids grow across the preschool years, you find that they spend more and more of their time negotiating and arguing and role play and all of that kind of stuff. So parents also have both a direct and indirect influence on their kids. They directly influence them by acting as gatekeepers and managers. They're the ones who decide who can come over for play dates, etc. They also influence kids through their basic life decisions, such as the neighborhoods they choose to live in, the churches they attend, the preschools they go to, the teams that they join, all those kind of things. And that also affects who the kids become friends with. Finally, researchers have found that children's peer relations are linked to their basic attachment to their parents. Researchers have found that when mothers coach their preschool daughters about the negative aspects of peer conflicts involving relational aggression. We'll talk more about relational aggression in the next chapters. Basically, what that's talking about is all those things like, talking behind somebody's back and lying and creating rumors and all of those kind of things. Anyway, when moms coach their preschool daughters about how to deal with these things, the daughters themselves engage in lower rates of relational aggression. Finally, kids begin to learn to relate to each other during these years. And when children relate with their peers, they have to do that on a more or less equal basis, right? Parents can make kids do things. Peers have to persuade them to do it. So although peers can be cruel, they also provide an accountability that adults just cannot do. Next, let's talk about play. So our textbook cites the work of Kathy Hirsch-Psyc and Roberta, let's see if I can say this right, Gollingkoff and Dorothy Singer, authors of a book called Play Equals Learning. And these guys are all obviously sold on this. They claim that among the cognitive benefits of play, there are such things as creativity, abstract thinking, imagination, attention, concentration, persistence, problem solving, social cognition, empathy, perspective taking, language, and mastering. Oh, good grief, what a list. Oh my gosh, is there anything it doesn't do? They also note that it has many socio-emotional benefits, including enjoyment, relaxation, self-expression. Oh, you can look up the list. It's in that box over there on the book. Anyway, look at that list. It's a long one. So the other thing that they're saying, though, is that kids don't get enough just free, unstructured playtime, and they need this for development. And that's probably true. That being said, I wonder how they feel now if they've got little kids and their kids can't go to school because of coronavirus. I see if they like it so much now, huh? Anyway, all right, types of play. Have you ever wondered the types of play? Well, if you have, boy, have I got something for you. Here we go. Sensory motor play, practice play, pretense play, social play, constructive play, games. There you go. That's play from infancy all the way up through about this stage. And again, what you do find is that this really is the way kids learn. They really do learn by doing. So it's kind of a cool thing. Next, let's turn to media and TV. Oh boy, here we go. All right, so you'll notice here that many 2 to 4 year olds spend about 2 to 4 hours a day watching TV. Actually, it's more like 2 to 4 hours a day of screen time. Not all of that's TV. Anyway, the American Academy of Pediatricians are very concerned about this. They're very concerned because they're saying 1 hour of TV per day is enough, and it needs to be social needs free. Yeah. And they do know that good TV can teach positive values. It's linked to other things as well. Here we go. Let's dive into the problems. Here you go. So here we go. Research related to television violence. Saturday morning cartoons show an average of 25 violent acts per hour. It's amazing. Never thought about that. So Stewart and Appleville back in 1971 did some research where preschool kids were randomly assigned to one of two groups. One group watched television shows taken directly from violent Saturday morning cartoons. They did this for 11 days in a row. The second group watched television cartoons shows with the violence removed. What were they watching then? Sheesh. The children then were observed during their playtime at preschool. The preschool children who had seen the TV cartoon shows with violence kicked, choked, and pushed their playmates more than those who watched non-violent TV shows. Because this was a true experiment, that is, the kids were randomly assigned to the two conditions, you really can say that it was the violent television that actually caused the violent behavior. That, and there's lots and lots of other research that does the same thing. However, what our book does not mention is that the effects of TV violence are moderated by the context that the child grows up in. For example, children that are the most prone to the effects of media violence are the kids who are also the most social and psychologically vulnerable. That is, children who are not well adjusted, who are living in unstable family conditions, and who do not have good social skills and do not have good friends either. Now, this does not mean that you should just gather up the kids in a big old bowl of popcorn and all sit down and watch WWE together. Hey, come on, kids, let's go watch them bash each other's heads in. It's not real. Anyway, but it does mean that if your kids are going to see violence, and chances are they will, you need to spend an equal or more time with the kids in other activities to help them at least understand how unrealistic all that stuff they see on TV really is. On the other hand, as it notes there, as negative as the negative effects of TV can be, the positive TV effects of TV can also be quite positive. That is, there are really some excellent educational TV shows on which really do stimulate kids to think creatively and critically, and it opens up their world to all, bunch of new ideas. Also, TV is good for teaching some pro-social values, so it's not all bad. Now, screen time. Here we go. So it's not just TV, it's also screen time, right? All right, so they've noticed that there's been a dramatic increase in kids using screens, playing games, videos, things like that. And so that's one concern. And one research review concluded that greater amounts of screen time were associated with lower levels of cognitive development in early childhood. Okay? A more recent study in 2016 found that each additional hour of screen time was linked to less nightly sleep, later bedtimes, and reduced likelihood of sleeping 10 or more hours per day. Researchers also found that it is also related to obesity in kids 2 to 6. So all of that being said, all of these things are saying they're associated with, not causing. So that's the one thing to kind of keep in mind. It's associated with it, but it's not necessarily saying it's causing all these things. So just kind of keep that in mind. Last thing is, whoa, sorry about that. Last thing is here. If you ever wondered what is the best thing that your kids can be doing, if you're going to have them online and using screens, what should they be doing? Well, here are some of the best educational apps that you can purchase for your kids. There you go. Remember, you heard it here first. Okay, so now we are done. Hallelujah. And I'll have some more stuff for you. Always be checking Moodle and always be checking your email, because that's how I'll keep in touch with you. So see ya. Bye.